What's up, guys? Repeat back with you, starting a brand new week at Darlington. Track too tough to tame, Lady in Black, whatever you want to call it. It's gonna be nasty tonight. Got about 12 or 13 drivers gonna be on track. Just about the entire field is, I guess you could say, locked in for this championship that we're gonna kick off next week. Expert Racing couldn't make it tonight, but I got one hell of a driver in the Xfinity Series. It seems like this guy always finds his way to the top when it really, really matters. Driver of the number 13, old Commando Griff. Griff, how are you, bud? What's happening, man?
Hey, it's good to be here, Pete. Thanks for having me tonight.
Absolutely. Griff, these guys, I was hoping it was going to be the night race, but these guys are actually going to get at it during the daytime. I think I've got you on my Xbox friends list. It's been so long, I don't really know who I've got on here anymore. But I'm going to try to see if I can find you. If I can't, I might need to ask you to, can you please send me a message on Xbox, and I'll go ahead and get your invite over. But it's going to be, as it's always been, 2 times wear, 2 times fuel, full damage. And man, it's I can't wait to get this in, find out how or who is going to be the most prepared to get to these next 6 races, and who's going to grab that coveted NNR Truck Series championship. You know a few of these guys, obviously Bowling and Cowboy and Swats and a lot of these other guys. Anybody that you're keeping your eye on for this last race in the regular season?
Yeah, I think Bowling is probably everybody's easy pick. The guy who runs up front every week, always the guy to beat. But I'm going to keep my eye on Tenacious Z tonight, Pete. And the reason being, he has kind of lit a fire under himself the past couple weeks. He's been up front. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he won last week at Texas. So my eye is on Tenacious Z tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to go through the field, and that is exactly who's got the pole. It's going to be the 21 of Tenacious Z on top, 38 of Bowling, forever strong, just about has 2 hands on that championship trophy. But man, we got a lot of laps, a lot of racing left to do here. Then we got the 24 of Krabby Soup P3, 88 of TGM Beast, hashtag JPOD Militia, and P4, 20 of Spoiled Milk. With the 3 car of NNR Monster, the 19 of Cowboy. He's got a little bit of a throwback on. You might remember his truck from last season. They got the 16 of Classic Stew, 13 of Garrett, number kind of near and dear to your heart. Got the 26 of Mataranet, or some just call him Yeti. We got the 51 of our series admin, old Swats. Then we got the 98 of Papa Bear, another one throwing that truck back. Man, good to see that back on track again. And here we go. Guys setting it green, going into turn number 1. Tenacious Z looks like he's got a pretty good start here. Oh, man, it's next time either Cowboy, Swats, or Monster come across the start stripe, I'll go ahead and grab us a lap count so we can go ahead and get going. Were you able to find me to send me a message?
Yes, I just found you here, Pete.
Okay, awesome.
Send you something right now.
Very cool. So it looks like Tenacious Z, he's got a bit of a gap. Right now, the 24 as well as the 38 and others really fighting it out. 24 and 38 side by side going into the next set of turns. Got the 20 of Spoiled Milk right behind them. And he's been a threat since joining NNR as well. All right, just got your message. I'm going to go ahead and get on down here and get you in as quickly as I possibly can. And I'm going to add you as a friend. And just in case you ever decide to do this again, I'll go ahead and set it as favorite. Come on, let's go. Invite. There we go, game. All right, you should have it now. Just as I said that, I thought I saw somebody spinning a little bit further in the back. But as you're getting loaded in, I tell you what, Tenacious, he is setting sail. He's got a very, very small pack of about 3 cars behind him, being led by the 38 of Bowling, but nothing real serious. TGM Beast is there as well, and then I believe, again, it's going to be that 20 of Spoiled Milk. Rock, good to see you. Thanks for coming on out. There is old Vols fan, Combat Beast as well. So, man, it's pretty cool. I wish that these guys were under the lights tonight. Darlington always looks a whole lot better, you know, when they always say prime time is the right time. So, but that's all right. These guys are racing to wrap up the regular season and get ready to go. Combat Beast, I should be good. Thanks for the offer, though. Captain says this is his home track love. Yeah, Captain, it's a lot of fun. It looks like a couple guys got loose in front of the 88 of Beast. Are you loaded in yet, bud?
I am all loaded in here, Pete.
All right, awesome. So, yeah, kind of just been working our way through the field. Tenacious C has a pretty good lead. Next three, and then you got another pack of three, pack of two, and then another pack of two. So you said you're gonna keep your eye on Bowling. I tell you, with the momentum that Tenacious has had lately, I don't think you really look too far past him either. Oh, you're right, Rock. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, and Pete, just as I say that, I just lost connection to the race again, so I'm going to need one more invite from you. I got a couple numbers, though, while you're looking for me. The first number is 40 laps. That is the number of laps that we've got here in stage number 1. These guys can go about 29 to 31 laps on a tank of fuel. So, you know, at that end of that first stage should be interesting if it goes green. Who knows? You might see guys take some right side tires only. You may even see fuel only with only 9-10 laps remaining in the stage. But I'm going to want 4 fresh tires here at the Lady in Black.
Yeah, absolutely. Riding on board with the 19. I was going to check with him for those laps and see what they had, see how the first stage was broken down. And I'm going to guess because it collected him and somebody else, but the game did not bring out the caution, we might see a manual here. So a little bit of a battle between the 20 and the 88, trying to catch up to that 38 and the 21. Might see these guys get racked and stacked pretty quick. Vol says Tenacious needs to back it down a bit so he doesn't tear his stuff up. Man, I got to agree, but Vols, we both know, and I'm sure Griff, you know from either watching the races live or going back and watching them later on, it's what you call it? Oh my God, Bowling. He's no slouch when it comes to racing people back down. He says, you know what, you go ahead and wear your stuff out. I'll see you here in about 10 or 15 laps. And it looks like Commander Griff, it looks like that manual caution has come out.
Yeah, and it is so much easier to back it down. It's easy to say that you're going to back it down, Pete, but when in reality, you just want to go hard and get away from that guy. The guy who has been known to track people down, to pass them for the lead, and then just set sail and take off. So I understand that they're wanting Tenacious to back their stuff down and save a little, but easier said than done.
Yeah, it is. I mean, when you've got a field as stout as usually the front to middle of the pack is, you want to try to get that little bit of a gap, but you can absolutely wear it out here. And when you wear it out, all of a sudden you find yourself maybe getting that Darlington stripe a little earlier than you anticipated, or like we saw in the practice and getting up to qualifying, some people really getting way too tight, slamming that wall pretty hard. Looks like 21 of Tenacious Z is going to have to 3-truck of Monster to his inside. Monster must have forgot to pit, so he's going to go ahead and drop on back. That is going to give the lead to the 21. He'll have sole possession going into turn 1 and 2. Long string of trucks behind him, though. 27 laps to go in stage 1.
Yeah, and with there being 27 laps to go here, Pete, these guys should be good to go on fuel. And tires actually hold up about the whole fuel run here at Darlington, so shouldn't really be too worried about tires. It's going to be a matter of who can manage those tires, though. The best, as we see the 38 get up into the wall there with a little bit of contact from your leader.
Yeah, that 38 looked like his braking point was just a little bit further into the corner than that of Tenacious. So gave a little bit of a love tap to that back tailgate. 38 way up high, wide, and handsome around that outside wall. Got the 88 right on his back bumper. 20 of Spoiled Milk is there as well. 24 of Krabby Soup. And then that 13 of Garrett, I believe. But yeah, looks like the 24 just went around and collected about the entire back half of the field.
That's a lot of cars.
Yeah, that was definitely a lot of cars.
Probably be a yellow coming out here.
Oh yeah, yellow is absolutely out. I'm gonna guess when this comes back, we'll have probably 20 laps to go. So everybody, come on in. Maybe just grab that set of right side tires. You haven't really ran a whole lot on the left. You don't need to take any fuel, so keep that out, and keep the back end of that truck pretty light.
If I'm one of these guys in the back of the pack, Pete, I might even consider staying out here. They've only run about 2 to 3 laps of green flag racing on those tires. And hey, why not get a little track position, jump ahead of these guys that you know are faster than you, and who knows, you might be able to hold them off for just a couple laps and maybe get a better position in stage 1.
Man, anything's absolutely possible. There's the 19 Cowboy. Now he's got that Bobby Labonte throwback, or the truck that he ran most of last season, his rookie season in NNR. Got the 21 of Tenacious to the outside, 38 of Bowling, 88 of Beast. That's going to be your top 4. Tenacious going to get a great start on that equipment. 19 down low, a little bit of a shove from the 38. Tenacious one more time. He's going to be able to skate away by a good truck length or so with new challenger sitting in P2. But I have a feeling the 38 is going to give a little bit of help to get that 19 up there as quickly as possible.
We know that 38 is always going to be part of the equation here to win these stages and to win this race. I mean, you take a look at his playoff points that he has amassed here going into the end of this season, and I mean, it's almost insurmountable. It's going to be quite the challenge for that second place guy to make a run at him in the championship here. Yeah,
I mean, you mentioned championship. We're actually going to start the 6-race championship postseason next week. I'll go through the schedule just a little bit later on, but it's pretty much one of every kind of track. There's a short track, intermediate, super speedway, road course. Everything is in there. If you're gonna be the NNR Truck Series, Xfinity Series, or Cup Series champion, man, you've got to know how to do it all. So 6 more weeks after tonight to crown that champ. A little bit of a hiatus after that, figure out exactly what's going on with the next edition of the NASCAR or motorsports game, whatever it is, and then come on back out. Will there be an NNR series on Xbox? I would like to say yes, but nobody really knows what is going on with the next edition. But there will definitely be an iRacing series. And we've seen Vols out there in chat for a little bit. He's going to be the man calling all the shots in the booth as I actually get to pilot my number 8 Silverado around the track during those Monday night slots. I can't wait for Vols to get back from South Korea. Can't wait to hear him and Rick James paired up in the booth. A little bit of help from Expert and whatever else as the time goes on. Absolutely excited for it all.
Absolutely, Pete. Those iRacing events have been a blast to tune in and watch, especially the super speedway race a couple nights ago. Talk about a big one there at the end. My goodness, I'm pretty sure everybody but maybe 3 or 4 cars was involved in that. So, fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, definitely quite a few cautions last night. But man, it's a brand new speedway. All right, so. Or super speedway. For anybody out there that has never seen the iRacing super speedway, it's basically a Martinsville blown up with to be 3 miles long, and you've got Bristol banking on the straightaways, and you've got Talladega plus a little extra banking in the corners. You can easily go 5 wide if you get a whole bunch of people that can hold their line. You cannot be nose to tail with the guys on the bottom because the corners come in so sharp. You've got to be able to see where to enter the corner, so you can't be pushing the guy right in front of you in order to get through there cleanly. Saw a little bit of that last night, but man, all in all, it was an opening race. 30 to 35 trucks were on track. Man, I had fun. I got wrecked out early, but you know what? I still had a lot of fun.
Speaking of having a lot of fun here, we got a battle for the lead on our hands. The 38 has reeled in Tenacious Z here and is trying to make the pass on him. But here at Darlington, easier said than done. As we see, I think the 38 might have bounced off the wall trying to make a passing attempt on that 21.
Yeah, 38 looks like something happened, and he turned very, very sharp to the inside, trying to keep that Crossley Ford off the outside wall and doing a pretty good job. I think he might still be a little tight. Under these cautions, yeah, they've had like a full 40 seconds to try to adjust their ride, but are they still kind of weary that it's early in the race, not knowing exactly how far they've got to go on their adjustments, because we haven't had a full-blown green flag run as of yet. Big thanks to Rock NASCAR out there for the 500 bits, and Vols following up with 500 of his own. Dose Slayer 87, thanks for coming on out, hanging out, chatting up with these guys. Welcome to NNR, man. How are you? Still going through the field. Seeing a bit of a separation now, Griff. Riding back here with the 88 of TGMBs, he's all clean. He's sitting in P3. Behind him, there is nothing but space. So he can really just concentrate on his line, try to get his left sides down as close as possible to those white dotted lines, and then come off the corner as quickly as possible. One side of this track is a bit wider than the other. It's a very egg-shaped track, so you have to attack these corners very, very differently. How much time have you been able to put into practicing for your race tomorrow night so far?
Well, Pete, I did some practice in the truck actually right before this broadcast, just to kind of get an idea of how they drove and how they felt. So I did a full race in trucks and I did a full race in Xfinity so far. So I've put quite a few laps under my belt so far this week. And man, for the sake of these guys, I sure hope that they started these cars off a little on the tighter side, because as this run begins to progress, that truck or car gets snappy loose off of turn number 2. As you see, I think that was I can't tell who that was right there, who seemed to get a little bit loose off of 2.
Well, I was just kind of keeping up with the 13 of Garrett as well as the 98 of Papa Bear. They were side by side. Took a minute to actually see who was who. I mean, yeah, you could see the name on the bottom left-hand side, but Papa Bear and Garrett's trucks are painted kind of similar. They both have that forest or OD green. Vols out there in chat knows all about OD green, being in the United States Army right now, currently stationed in South Korea. But man, so far so good, not too bad.
Yeah, and going back to the 88, Pete, I know my initial pick was Tenacious Z, but I would keep your eye on that 88 car of TGM Beast. He has been able to keep pace with Bowling here so far early in the going. I don't know if Bowling has right side damage from bouncing off the wall or if he's just a little on the tighter side, but hey, TGM Beast really impressing so far.
I tell you what, Griff, you just got one hell of an accolade, I guess you could say, from the one and only Vols. He's wanting to know who's in the booth with me. Guy trying to take his job. Man, I am kind of impressed, man. I gotta be honest with you. You seem, this is the first time you've ever been in the booth with me, I believe. And so far, man, no hiccups. You sound great. You know all about these trucks. You know a lot about these drivers. You know about the tracks. Once again, man, welcome to the booth.
Hey, thanks a lot, Pete. I've only been in the booth one time for the Xfinity win at Chicago, and I thought, man, I got to get myself up here more often. So this is my excuse to get up here in the booth and chat it up with you guys, calling these truck races.
Well, you're doing one hell of a job. Back up front with the 21 of Tenacious Z. You talked about him earlier. Bowling was your pick for the race. Right now, the 21 seems to really have it down pat. It doesn't really look like he's having to push that Chevy, almost said Ford, thinking about the Wood Brothers Ford over on the Cup side, but it doesn't really seem like he's having to push this truck too hard. He's really able to keep it off the wall, keep it wound up on that high side, come on down, paint the white lines, and he's keeping it off the wall where most we've seen get a Darlington stripe already. Next time Cowboy comes across the line, we'll go ahead and grab a lap count. I'm pretty sure we're under 10 to go. I think the last time I saw was 11. He's on the backstretch right now, heading into turns 3 and 4. And, man, whole lot of gap between everybody out here on track. I'm actually looking forward to the start of stage 2 where everybody's got that full 40 seconds to go ahead and figure out, or they should have by now, figure out what they'll need for the long run. Like you said, is it to tighten up the car? Is it to loosen up the car? Did they start lower on the spectrum? Did they start too high on the spectrum? What are they going to need for that neutral long run that NNR is pretty known for?
Especially when these especially when these trucks get spaced out here at Darlington, the ability for a caution to come out drops significantly. So I'm looking for that guy who's got their long run truck established early here. So far, I'm leaning towards these top 3 as they have scooted away from 4th place. Tenacious has impressed me staying out there under that caution on 2 to 3 lap older tires. But, it's not over till it's over.
You got that right. Riding on board right now with the 38 of Bowling. Last time, let's see, they come across the line this time. 3 laps remaining. That's from 4th place, which is the 19 of Cowboy. So yeah, right now the 21 of Tenacious looking back from him. Yeah, you see the 38. Yeah, you see the 88 back there, but he has got one great lap. 2 laps to go here to wrap up stage number 1. It'll be interesting to see exactly what kind of adjustments these guys make and who's going to be, prepared to take it all the way. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Discord. Maybe we can actually grab a quick word with Cowboy when the stage is said and done. See if he has an idea of what he'll need in order to work his way into the top 3 once this next stage starts. Last lap here, stage 1.
The last lap to go here in stage 1. Tenacious pretty much has this one established unless he bounces it off the wall here in 3 and 4. Very impressed with the run that he's been able to put together. He is going to earn some bonus points that are going to be much needed to catch Bowling here in this championship hunt. Bowling makes a dive to the bottom of the racetrack here in the last turn. Not going to be enough. Coming off of turn number 4. Looks like Tenacious Z is going to take stage number 1, followed closely by Bowling, and TGM Beast rounds out the top 3.
Perfect. All right, let's see if we can't grab a quick word with our 4th place driver. Let's see. All right, NNR Cowboy, it's Repeat and Commando Griff in the booth. Buddy, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Cowboy, man, first off, congrats on the P4 on stage number 1. Looked like you had a pretty eventful first stage, couple of cautions early. What do you think you're going to need to do during this stage break to get that 19 throwback to Bobby Labonte up inside the top 3?
Put brand new tires on it. I didn't take tires on that second caution. That's what got me out in the front. And that's why I fell back to 4th, because I just didn't have new tires.
Well, yeah, I mean, tires will be a whole lot of everything here at Darlington. Buddy, I'll go ahead and put you back. Thanks for taking a quick second with us. Good luck in stage 2, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You got it. All right, big thanks to NNR Cowboy. He's been a big help to Coey in getting the NNR iRacing series kicked off. Looks like it's going to be the 21 of Tenacious, 38 of Bowling, 19 of Cowboy, 88 of Beast, and the 16 of Classic Stu. That's going to be our top 5. Commando Griff going back green into 1. Stage 2 is underway.
And Tenacious and Bowling lead us side by side into turn 1 and 2, followed very closely by the 88 of TGM Beast. They are nose to tail coming off the corners. That 88 might have just bounced off the wall there, coming out of 2.
Yeah, 88, but he's able to maintain that track position right behind the 38. Now, in that closing bit of stage number 1, we really started to see the 38 close. If he was able to do that late in the run, if we don't have a caution, are we going to see him really, really challenge for that top spot as stage 2 closes out? We'll have to see if these guys get as spread out as they did before. I'm going to go back to the feed from, let's see, I might as well stay right here on Cowboy, still sitting in P4. You see that dark green right in front of the 16, and as he comes off of 4, heading down the front stretch, looks like this stage has got 35 laps. So everybody, if there's no caution, Griff, they will all have to pit one time. Top 3 right now, though, nose to tail.
Absolutely, Pete. Stage 2, looking at 37 laps they have to make it on tires and fuel, which is undoable. So you'll see some guys duck down pit road to get fuel and tires. But my question for you, Pete, is would you rather split this stage in half, or do you want to run this thing out as far as you can and then hit pit road with like 8 or 9 laps to go?
Man, that's actually a really, really good question. I would have to probably say wait and see just how spread out the field gets and go from there. If it gets really spread out and you've got some traffic right in front of you that you'd love to get by, maybe go on in, split it if they don't, and then make up those couple of spots, hopefully, with those 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods. I would only take as much fuel as you need. As most people know, I'm sure you do as well, when you go down pit road, one of the options you've got is a half can, 1 can, 1.5, or 2 cans of fuel. Only take the amount of fuel that you need to keep the back end of the truck light, but not too light to where it's snapping on you earlier in the run. Just as we see the 19 of Cowboy go ahead and spin around. You got the 20 involved in that, and a couple of others. And I have a feeling that game caution will fly. If not, I'm sure Swats will go ahead and make that very important command decision and call that caution. But as we're riding with the 20 of spoiled milk, you definitely see that damage to the front right side of that Chevy Silverado. Kind of bad, unfortunate to see. He's been pretty strong.
Yeah, and that is kind of the unfortunate thing about running at Darlington, Pete. You look at the track and you go, man, it is so wide. There is so much room out here. In reality, this place is a 1 to 2 groove racetrack. It's more like a country road than a wide interstate highway, despite all that concrete. So once somebody goes spinning, you are just bound to get collected in their accident. Absolutely.
See the 16 of Classic Stu. He's down on the apron, slowing it up, blowing it up, trying not to run over as see somebody else going high. I'm going to guess that was a lap car going to get his lap back. Since we took a little bit of a break to catch up with Cowboy during the end of stage 1, we're going to take a quick little 30-second NNR break. Anybody out there who doesn't already know how to follow NNR, here you go. And we will be right back in, again, about 30 seconds.
Hey NNR fans, don't miss any of the action by following or subscribing to Repeat's Twitch channel. Turn on notifications and you'll always know when the best preset league on Xbox hits the track. Check out his YouTube channel too to see all of NNR's past races. Follow No Name Racing as well as Repeat 1975 and others on Twitter, and you'll never miss any of the action.
All right, we are back running a little tail end Charlie with the 13 of Garrett back here. You see everybody out there. They're just kind of riding around, biding their time, waiting to get things started back up. I'm going to guess because one person had to get their lap back. Pits were closed that time by. But the 21 of Tenacious, he's going to bring everybody down pit road. And I think from here, let's see, they've got 21 laps of fuel left in the tank. I believe on a full fuel load, they get 31 laps. So what do you do right here, Griff? Are you taking right sides and top off? Or are you going to grab 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, knowing that when we go back green, there will be exactly 29 laps to go, and that's exactly what these tanks hold?
If I am your top 3, maybe top 4 cars, Pete, I'm going to throw 4 tires on there regardless. I know that I've got a good truck that can stay up there, that's been able to pull away from the rest of the field. If I'm one of these other guys towards the back of the pack, I might try to take right side tires. With there being 29 laps to go and you've already put some on your left sides, you may eventually get passed by these guys that have been cream of the crop, if you will. But you might even catch a short caution here 10, 15 laps into the run, and then you've gained yourself some track position.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. Looks like the 19 of Cowboy on board with him right now. He must have got caught speeding going down pit road. He's being held for that full 30.2 second stop. So Cowboy's going to go from top 4 getting involved in that wreck to now being relegated all the way to the back. I believe the one and only car that was one lap down has now caught his lap back up, so everybody should now be on the lead lap. If we were talking iRacing terms, I believe Chevy or NNR Monster would have just received that EOL, but back up front, looks like Pop Bear, he's going to have the 88 of Beast and the 21 in front of him. To the outside is going to be the 16 of Classic Stew, the 24 of Krabby Soup behind him, and of course Bowling leading the charge on the outside line. This is kind of interesting. All the way down on the apron, coming through the corner, maybe just kind of protecting those tires in case anybody's being a little leery about running that close, next to the wall. They've got to run up there all race long. A little bit of a time to decompress. Going through 3 and 4, getting ready to set these guys free one more time, side by side, all the way through. Looks like Monsters or Chevy's just kind of laying back just a little bit. And here we go, coming to that raise restart zone at the line. Go ahead and call it, buddy. Are you still there, Commando Griff? Make sure that y'all are going to be able to hear him in the Discord. You actually go ahead and pull that up, see if we've lost him. Griff, can you hear me? Hello? Let's try that again. Can y'all hear me out there in chat? Mike. Chat, can y'all hear? There we go. All right. Sorry about that, Alpha and whatnot. I was having a little bit of difficulty with my audio. None of y'all were actually able to hear me. Definitely apologize. All right, we'll keep on going through. And Commando, can you hear me now?
I've got you loud and clear, Pete.
All right. Something happened with my Discord. It completely locked up, and it'd been so long since I logged out of Discord, I actually forgot my passwords. I had to go through and kind of remember what I was using. Were you able to kind of keep up with things as they were going on, or just kind of hanging out with me?
I was doing my best there, Pete.
You're the
3
man.
words, though. Lady in black. She reached out and she grabbed you, Pete.
Yeah, she did. She flat took that mic right out of my hand, said, this is my track. But we're going to try to work our way back up to the front. Let me go ahead and pull the streams back up. That was really, really interesting. 20 laps to go from the onboard with the 19 of NNR Cowboy. Still riding around up front is going to be the 21 of Tenacious. Has that 38 the 88 rather. Now of Beast in P number 2, 38 of Bowling in P number 3. Still moving on, still moving up. 88 of Beast might now be a new contender as 21 made a little bit of contact with that outside wall.
Pete, continue to watch that 88. Passing Bowling at any track is an amazing feat, and he got it done and is scooting away from that 38 truck. I expect that 88 to start putting the pressure on the 21 here shortly, and who knows, we might have a new battle for the lead.
Yeah, Mike, we saw the 21 have a little bit of an issue on the long run earlier when we really watched the 38 run him down. It seems like the 88, he might have got that truck just right. He's clearly able to keep up with the 21. There is a bit of a draft here at Darlington, so we'll have to see if that comes into play. Is Bowling just kind of hanging back, just maintaining his resources until that last stretch? Right now, looks like the 19 is sitting back in P number 9. I'm going to go ahead and move on over to Swats, see where he's sitting. He's sitting in P number 8. From 6th through 10th right now, it looks like Papa Bear's up in P6. They've got 16 laps to go, just as, of course, he changed his menu on me. Of course he would. But, man, yeah, this top 3 absolutely heating up.
And I goofed a little bit earlier, Pete. I said Tenacious scored some very crucial playoff points for the upcoming battle against Bowling. Tenacious actually is scored as not in the playoffs. Hasn't made enough starts in the truck series. But I can guarantee you that all these other truck guys are saying thank you. Thank you so much for keeping that 38 from scoring any more playoff points.
Well, I mean, right now, like you mentioned it earlier, to be able to pass Bowling is a big thing. Bowling has clearly, he's got more. I think he's got over 10 wins on the season. He has won literally just about 50% of all the races that the NNR Truck Series has ran this season. And I've mentioned this also throughout the season. Bowling had an offer to go to Xfinity or go to Cup. He says, no, I want to do it the right way. He wanted to start off in trucks, win the championship here. Next season, depending on what happens with everything, maybe go to Xfinity, try to win a championship there, and then if it's still going on the season after, go on up to Cup if his schedule allows, and try to take on those Cup guys, which is a feat in its own, to try to take a championship up there. This year we're watching the Aviator. He's a back-to-back NNR Cup Series champion, but so far, I mean, CJMX Rose and Lucky Dog, they've really been dominating the Cup cars, right along with Amore Smoke and a few others. So we'll have to see, are we going to have a new champion in all 3 series? In the trucks, yes, it will be a new champion because neither Watt Racing or Asbel, last season's champ, are running this season. In the Xfinity series, it was NNR Smitty that won the championship there. He's up in Cup, so you're going to have a new champion there as well. It's just in the Cup series where it's possible that we could have another 3-time champ Of course, Rowdy being the only other champ when he won the Truck, Xfinity, and Cup just a few short years ago. But man, it really looks like the battle for P2 is absolutely heating up. Bowling is applying the pressure now that we're winding down on laps. Next time Cowboy comes on by the stripe, I'll go ahead and grab that lap count for us. But 21, it looks like he's really just maintaining that gap, Griff.
Yeah, and for a second there, Pete, I got a little confused. They were nose to tail to nose to tail. I thought we were at Talladega for a second by the way that these guys were pushing each other around this joint. But now they're starting to give each other a little more space. Again, there goes that 38. Kind of falling off a little bit here on this long run. He was right up on the back bumper of the 88. Tried to make a pass in 3 and 4 and ended up falling back just a smidgen. I'll tell you what, making a pass at this track on old tires is tough. 3 and 4, you might be able to get it done. 1 and 2, no way. Not going to happen.
Well, we saw Bowling pull up, and there you see the 21 of Tenacious Z get a little wicked loose coming off the corner. 88 really closed up right there, and I'm sure that's going to allow the 38 to maybe catch a little bit of a glimpse, maybe catch a little bit of a whiff of the draft as well. And if he's not just back there conserving his tires, it might be able to pull him up also. Again, he was pretty strong on the long run. And see the 88 of Beast tag that outside wall. Most say you get your Darlington stripe here coming off of 4 because the wall kind of sticks out just a little bit. 88 got that kind of in the center. So I'm guessing he's a little tight where it looks like 21 is a little loose. All these trucks are handling just a little differently with just about 10 laps to go.
That is exactly what Tenacious Z needed right there, was the 88 tagging the wall in turn 1 and 2. That has given him a little bit of breathing room here as we close in on the final laps of Stage 2. And Darlington is such a momentum-based racetrack. If you lose your momentum in 1 and 2, then you might as well start that lap over again because you're not going to have it in 3 and 4 or on that back stretch or front stretch.
Well, you mentioned earlier that you ran a bunch of laps here, to prepare for tonight's race, and then you ran a bunch of laps in the Xfinity cars to get ready for tomorrow night's Xfinity race. I just forgot where I was going with that.
Yes, I did, Pete.
Yeah, okay. But no, what I was gonna kind of get at, not only is it a momentum track, but it's also a
battle for the lead here, Pete.
Yep, battle for the lead. 88, he's looking to the inside. 38 was able to catch back up. They are going to be side by side with 21 to the outside, 88 down low. Bowling looks like he's going to side with that 88 to try to push him on by. They're coming up also on a lap car. Will that lap car be able to be used as a pick, or what'll happen? 38 down low, 21's got a little bit of a tag. 38's going to try just a little bit of a side draft. Off the wall, 38 move him up to P number 2. 88 has now that lap car between these two. He might actually be able to use him as a little bit of a spacer. Now they've got to fight to get on by. I think that's going to be the 98 of Papa Bear, if I'm not mistaken. But, that lap car just went down towards the inside wall. No, it's actually going to be the 13 of Griff. That's going to allow the 88 to pull back up inside the 38. I'm sorry, the 21 rather, pull back up inside the 38. Right now, Beast, though, he's got to see that 38 getting closer and closer one more time.
Kudos to that lap truck getting out of the way. Darlington, not a whole lot of room in the first place, so it was nice to see him kind of pull over and give the spot to these leaders, let them race it out. I said you couldn't make a pass in 1 and 2 without making contact, and the 88 just proved me wrong, making that pass on the 21. Now, the 38 and the 21 made a little bit of contact, but man, I'm super impressed that these guys have been able to keep it off each other for the most part. As the 88 bounces off the wall, here comes the 38.
Yeah, 38 got loose coming off the corner, went way down into the infield. I'm guessing these guys are just like it's been here recently in the iRacing Truck Series at Atlanta Motor Speedway, like you're driving around on ice. Darlington, by now, with the tires the way they are, the trucks as light as they are due to the fuel loss, they're going to be extremely loose. So here is the time where they've really got to start driving, turning the wheel to the right to come off the corner. And you don't want to be pointing too far to the left, because all of a sudden you're going to see that inside wall get closer and closer, and you come into a big old issue. 38 at the point where he's been very, very comfortable. Now 3 laps to go from what it looks like. And you mentioned that the momentum track, it's also a very, very line-sensitive track. You've got to hit your marks repetitively if you're going to be fast here. These three up top been doing a phenomenal job. Bowling, that's going to be the 21. 21's going to try to duck down low underneath the 38. Tag that the broken white line down low. Not this time. He's got one more try to set it up.
Again, that is such a difficult pass to make, especially on old tires. And heck, you're chasing the series leader right there, so it might as well be a difficult pass. With one to go here, though, my eye is on the 88. If those two front guys get together here in 3 and 4, and that 21 sends the 38 up the track, watch for the 88 to maybe be able to pounce on these two, although he's a little further back than I'd like.
Yeah, I mean, 21 trying that high line, going to try to grab a little bit of momentum. 38 down on the bottom. We've got one lap to go, last lap. And right now it really looks like Bowling is in control. And I'm going to guess, okay, that was actually it. They were so far ahead of Cowboy. Cowboy all the way back there in 10th right now. So stage number 2 in the books. Bowling's, he's going to go ahead and grab max points for that stage. With the 21 of Tenacious, your stage 1 winner, and then the 88 of Beast staying right there to contend. Good job by him. We're going to take one more little break, guys. We're going to bring you back to stage 3, set it all up, see what happens. And one more time, NNRLeague.com. Let's take a look at the Zazzle tab. We'll see you soon.
Hey NNR fans, are you looking for a way to rep your favorite NASCAR Heat preset league on Xbox Live? Look no further. Just go to NNRLeague.com, scroll down to the Zazzle tab, and see what we have to offer. From t-shirts to hoodies to clocks, we have everything you need to show your support. Thanks for being the best fans, and we hope to see you at the track repping that NNR red.
All right, as always, anytime we take one of those little commercial breaks to show you anything about NNR, you don't miss a thing. Everybody's racked and stacked back up here, Commando Griff. 38-21. The 20 is spoiled milk back inside the top 3 for the first time in quite a while. Let's go ahead and unfurl that stage 3 flag. Go ahead and take us into turn 1 and 2, bud.
And Pete, I noticed immediately we lost that 88 car. He has fallen outside of the top 4 after that pit stop, so he might have had some damage that he had to repair. But we've got 2 new guys that have moved into 3rd and 4th place there. I believe one of them is, let's see, can't quite tell who they are, but 2 new players charging towards the front.
Absolutely spoiled milk in that Kira Lynn number 20 Chevy Silverado riding on board right now with him. Behind him, you've got, I want to say that was the 3. Nope, it's going to be the 25 rather. 25 he's right in front of the 16, a Classic Stew. 25 is, I'm trying to get to him right now. Hold on, I promise I'm getting there. Or is it
Mater in it, maybe?
Okay, Yeti, he said. Just call me Yeti. So, yeah.
Yeti.
Yep. So Yeti having a pretty good race, and just as I was trying to catch up with him, I finally do. Looking pretty good in this. It's actually 26, not 25. So I was on him before, but just overlooked him because I said 25. Yeah, whatever, balls. I can multitask. Okay, whatever. So sitting right there in P number 4, we got a long line of cars now. Nobody really double wide. Nobody really challenging anything. Just staying in line, staying, I guess you could say, in a draft. Just kind of riding. Stage 3 is, of course, the longest of the 3 stages. Next time Cowboy comes on by the start stripe from his 8th place position, we'll go ahead and grab a lap count, see what we got here for the final stage. But man, top 2 starting to skate away from the 20 is spoiled milk. And then, of course, you got the rest of the field behind them. 48 laps to go in stage 3. Gonna be a long time.
And look, with this being a 52-lap stage here, Pete, there's really not going to be anything too fancy if this thing goes green. These trucks can make it about 30 laps on a tank of fuel, so I would imagine these guys are probably going to just run that fuel out, run those tires out as far as they can go, and hit pit road with close to 22 to 23 laps remaining.
Yeah, you probably have to. Or let's see. I think I said earlier these guys can make it 29 laps. Whoa! It looks like the 20 is spoiled milk. Great job by him to go ahead and save that. He slid through the infield, but I don't know if he's collected anybody. I think maybe the 19 had to check up because he just dropped a few positions in order to not hit the 20. There we go. Get it out one of these days. But I really don't see any significant damage on this 20 either. So we'll have to see if Spoiled Milk might be able to work his way back up. If a caution should fly, he might have a little bit of damage to correct, but it's not going to be all that much. Good job by him, though, to not collect the entire back half of the field when he lost control of that Silverado.
Yeah, and what a tough break for Spoiled Milk, man. He has been there at the end of these races. He's kind of a silent, but deadly kind of contender, if you will.
Yeah.
Isn't really up front towards the beginning of some of these races, but towards the end, you can bet that Spoiled Milk number 20 Chevrolet is going to, Silverado is going to be up front.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of come in and made a name for himself right along with, KFB 18 in your series, or PTH the GOAT. I mean, he's been phenomenal in the Xfinity series. And a few of those guys that have come in and really said, man, I am here. So it's great racing tonight. Looking forward to a lot of great racing tomorrow night when your Xfinity series gets rolling about 8:30 Eastern right here. With the practice that you ran earlier preparing for tomorrow night, how was your car? What are you going to have to look forward to?
Mainly, Pete, I felt like our car was very comfortable. Comfortable on the long run, which is what I need it to do. Not snappy loose off of 2. I started off kind of on the tighter side, and then as that run progresses, we get almost the perfect amount of looseness. So, looking forward to tomorrow night. I don't know if I have anything to compete with PTH or Mathers or KFB or some of those other guys, but we should have a good, solid top 4, top 5 truck. Car.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I come back to on camera or whatever, you're always in the midst of something, and it seems like you find your way into the top 5, sometimes top 3, pretty often. So you're very consistent. You're sitting pretty good in points. You've got this week, and then next week we start off the I guess we can call it the chase. It's a very, very short 6-week postseason to crown a champ. I'm absolutely looking forward to it, and in fact, I'm going to grab NNR NNR website right now, nnrleague.com. Take a look at that schedule, and maybe we could talk about that for just a moment. I've been riding around with the 98 of Pop Bear for a couple laps. Meanwhile, up front, it's still pretty much the same. 38 of Bowling, 21 of Tenacious Z, all over that Crossley tailgate. And looking backward from them, it seems like they've got half the back stretch and half the front stretch on third place. I believe that's going to be the 88. Not 100% sure, but these guys up front still battling it out pretty hard.
Yeah, the 88 has indeed moved up to third here, Pete. He managed to get around those 2 cars of Spoiled Milk and the 25 of Yeti. The only problem is T has got quite a bit of ground to make up on these top 2, but there is hope. Darlington is one of those tracks where you can either nail it on pit road and gain a ton of time, or you can miss that commitment cone or speed on pit road and your day is done. So I look forward to watching that 88 try to make up some extra ground coming to pit road.
Yeah, I'm trying to work my way through right now. It's just caught up with the 21 of Tenacious. He all but almost had to hit the brakes in order to not run into the back of Bowling. There's Bowling, there's Krabby, there's that 88 of Beast. Whatever kind of issues he had that made him fall back on the restart for stage 3. I don't see any damage. This Smithfield truck looks pretty clean. All the hood pins are in the right position. He looks pretty steady on that low line, coming all the way through the corner, washing up just a little bit, keeping out of the wall, and getting that truck to stay pointed in the right direction off of both corners. So he might just be biding his time. Maybe he didn't like the way his truck felt on that last long run that wrapped up stage 2. Right now he looks he's looking pretty good.
And I want to talk a little bit about his throwback here. Kind of a special throwback for him. He is actually rocking the colors of the number 5 of Michael Annett.
Yep.
That was actually his first paint scheme that he drove in his first ever league race and season. He drove the number 5 Xfinity Chevy Camaro on NASCAR Heat 2 at Daytona. He brought it home 4th place, and a real growing season for him that first season in NASCAR Heat 2.
Yeah, a lot of things one thing that a lot of people don't know about Michael Annett, he's got that Loves and all that. He's got those truck stop on his car. Not only is he sponsored, he actually owns a lot of those truck stops, and he's been seen visiting anytime you get close to a track. If there's one kind of close by, he'll go in and just hang out and sign autographs, do whatever. But yeah, not only is he sponsored by them, but he owns quite a few of them as well. So pretty easy, I guess, to work out the budget to sponsor yourself sometimes, kind of like Dale Jr. and Rick Hendrick with the HendrickCars.com that the 5's running this year. But yeah, pretty strong truck, pretty great sponsor. And Annett, he's been everywhere. He was at Junior Motorsports for a while. I don't quite know who he's racing for this year, but yeah, he's been around for a little while.
Let's keep our eye on those front 2 guys here, Pete. There's a bit of separation between the 2. I don't know if it had something to do with the lap car that they caught in a bad spot or if somebody popped the wall, but we've got a little bit of a gap between the 38 and the 21 now.
Yeah, 38. He's actually got the 20 of Spoiled Milk. So I'm going to guess whatever damage Spoiled Milk got, it might have had I asked him. Yeah. Hey, can you take me down pit road? It might have needed him to go down pit road. These corners are tight enough as it is. So he might have had to go down pit road, might have lost a lap there, or that damage has just really slowed him up, and these guys up front are just that fast. We were talking about the playoffs and what's coming over the next 6 weeks. The trucks are racing it out here at Darlington tonight. The Xfinity Series will see you and company tomorrow night, and then of course the Cup guys on Thursday night. Wrapping up Darlington, I believe the next 2 nights are ran at night. But after that, we got Phoenix, we got the Glen, we got Talladega Superspeedway, we got Richmond, Pocono, and then we're wrapping it up right back at the home track of NASCAR, Charlotte Motor Speedway, to crown a champ. So it's going to be a very, very diverse final 6 weeks. You might as well say 7 weeks, because there aren't very many tracks, anything like Darlington. You might have been able to say Rockingham was, because it had a very similar, egg shape to it. But with the rock kind of falling by the wayside, Darlington's it.
The race I've got my eye on, Pete, is that Talladega Super Speedway race, a track where anybody can win. And if you have not tuned in to an NNR Talladega Super Speedway race, you are missing out. There's a little package that we run called the Chained Graboid Package.
Yep.
Makes racing absolutely phenomenal, absolutely exciting at these super speedways. Gets guys off the bottom of the racetrack, multi-groove racing. It's a heck of a show to watch.
Oh yeah, it's been phenomenal, and I've been calling it the J-Paw package. And J-Paw said, "Hey Pete, we need to give credit where credit is due. It's actually the Chain Graboid package. He just kind of adopted it. I don't know if he's made any changes to it or not. You've been running with him a little bit longer than how long I've known about it, but man, it is phenomenal. I was first introduced to it last season, or it might have been earlier this season at Daytona." And I was really, really skeptical. I was like, man, what do you mean you can't push on the bottom? You mean you can only push around the high side or that middle line or that second to bottom line if we're talking about the tri-oval at Talladega? And he said, yeah. I said, well, that could cause some issues. If you're up on that high line, somebody slams the wall, comes on down, and takes out the entire field. That's not going to be very, very good racing. Boy, was I proved wrong. That first race was phenomenal. When Rick James and I were done with that broadcast, I was singing the praises of that package and been looking forward to it every single time it's been ran. It's been ran here in NNR. I believe it's been ran in American Ethanol. It's been ran in Turn Down for What. It's been ran in Shadow Racing. It's one hell of a package. So make sure that you definitely stay tuned the week of April 13th when that's kicked off. You're not going to want to miss it. Or you can go back into my past replays if they're still on Twitch here, or if not, go on over to YouTube and search Repeat 1975 there. You'll see every single race that I've broadcasted, including the ones that I was just talking about. Looks like we're going to have some people come on down pit road. First one to dip is going to be the 38 of Bowling. 21 stayed up on track here, Commando.
And I like that move by the 21. I want to stay out a couple extra laps if I can to have those newer tires for the end of the run. But as we see the 38 duck down, I think we saw a couple more guys towards the back coming. Again, pit road is one of the more unique pit roads in NASCAR. It is a super wide entrance to pit road, and it's kind of deceiving. You jump down there on the apron, you're full throttle, you jump on those brakes, and it is super easy to miss that line or miss the commitment cone. Let's ride on board with the 21 here as he comes to pit road.
Yep, doing that, and he actually came in very, very slow. I know the apron here at Darlington can be super slick, so it's probably just being a little extra cautious. But with the 38 going in first, I'm actually going to try to catch up with him now. Here he is. He's coming out of pit road. So he pit 1 or 2 laps before the 21. I think it was just 1 lap. So as the 21 pulls into his pit stall, grabs his service. I don't think he had any damage to repair. So we'll see just how much this extra lap of brand new tires is going to benefit this Crossley Ford F-150 for old Mr. Bowling compared to the 21 of Tenacious. Looks like Bowling's going to come across the start stripe right now. And on the bottom, there is that 21 just now leaving pit road, as well as a few others. So that is exactly how much new tires mean around Darlington.
And it looks like this 38 truck is going to be able to jump out to a pretty sizable lead at Darlington. So if I'm his crew chief, I'm going to get in his ear and say, hey, we've got this huge lead at Darlington. Let's back it down a little bit. Let's save some right side tires. Keep them intact for in case we have a short run here to the finish, or if we get caught up in some lap cars. Make them burn their stuff up first. Make them use up their equipment, and then if they catch you, hey, kick on those afterburners and the stuff that you saved.
Well, you got to hope that he does save. I mean, usually from what I've seen out of Bowling in the past, when he's got that lead, you're going to want to try to extend it, especially with how strong the 21 of Tenacious has been tonight. He might want to just extend that gap. At the same point, Tenacious might say, you know what, you go ahead. I'll see you at the end. And when we're talking about the end, we're talking about 27 very short laps. Vols fan out there saying, damn, I can't get over how great old Griff is doing. If he wants to, I could always possibly add a third to the iRacing broadcast. Well, there you go, Griff. Might get a little old chatty chat from the one and only Vols fan.
And if you get me in an iRacing broadcast, you might regret it, Vols. You might not be able to get me to shut up there. I love those iRacing events. They're fun to watch, and they're even more fun to call.
There you go. So, are you actually already on iRacing?
You know, at one point, Pete, I had iRacing, and then I let my membership lapse, and it's been several years since I've been back over on the iRacing side.
Well, man, NNR just kicked off their semi-short 11-week season last week at the pick it back up, even if you're not racing, act as a spotter or whatever. A lot of things have changed, I'm sure, probably since the last time you were on. I mean, it seems like once every couple of weeks there's a couple gig update that needs to be picked up. So, man, it'd be good to race with you back on that side. But still working our way through. 38 of Bowling still has that very, very sizable lead back to the 21. I can tell you right now, 5th through 9th, in case anybody's wondering, Krabby Soup, Classic Stew, Cowboy sitting in 7th, Garrett in 8th, and Papa Bear sitting in P9. So far, I don't think I've seen anybody lag out on the night. J-Pa, thank you very much for those 88 bits, repping his buddy, old J-Pa Militia teammate of TGM Beast. Let's actually see if we can pick up on Beast here pretty quick. It shouldn't be, there he is right there. Beast just came across the stripe. You can see him not too far off the back bumper of the 21. The 21, the 88, and the 38 pretty much the class of the field. Griff, these guys are more spread out than they've been all race long.
Yeah, and I can't get over the lead that Bowling has built over these two. He must have really got onto and off road a lot better than both of them, because it is almost an entire straightaway over that second place truck.
Yeah, I got to kind of wonder, when we watched the 21 go down pit road, we saw how safe and non-aggressive he was getting in. Again, I mentioned how very, very slick the apron is here at Darlington. It's kind of just as slick as the much, much shorter entrance at Dover. And I guess he figured I'll be safe than sorry. We'll see. Maybe he thought Bowling was going to push it, figuring he went in one lap earlier, is going to be a little bit more aggressive. Maybe he'd mess up. Maybe he'd get a black flag going into pit road. But no, Bowling, he hit his marks, got down to pit road speed pretty quick, got in and out of his adjustments, in great time, and yeah, he's got that phenomenal lead right now.
And right now we're riding on board with the 16 of Classic Stew there. Stu is actually going to be going into the playoffs as a contender. Although he's sitting at 0 playoff points, there is always a chance for an upset, and I think this would be a major upset that his team could get her done.
Yeah, Classic Stew running, classic Napa scheme. You can throw that back to old Mikey Waltrip. I've actually got that diecast sitting in front of me that has the gold around the bottom. It looks pretty good. It's a scheme that he ran at Daytona. Still kind of going through, catching up with old NNR Swats. He's also in a Napa machine. I believe this is going to be a Dale Jr. throwback, if I'm not mistaken, to his AC Delco days. He's got the Napa sponsorship on the front. He's got the Rowdy Energy on the back. Again, he is an affiliate with Rowdy Energy, so big props to him. Speaking of props, not sure if y'all saw out there on stream what I've been rocking up here. All of your Rays content. Man, I tried and I actually opened the Baja Lime earlier. Really, really good. No nasty aftertaste, nothing like that. No sugar, no carbs, no crash later on. Very low on sodium. Both very, very good. Highly recommend. I'll actually put the link to Rays out there in chat in just a little bit, and of course you can always go on down to my about section, hit the link right there, and of course once you get to checkout, put in promo code REPEAT1975 for an instant 15% off your total order. Man, just tell them I sent you and enjoy. I'm gonna keep on going. There is that 38 Crossley Ford. There's that huge gap back to P2.
And I can't really tell if that 21 is real in a minute now. It doesn't really look like it. Still quite a large gap between those two. At this point, Pete, I don't know what you can really do if you're the 21 or the 88. If I were these two, I would be going hard. I would be putting a 100% effort into trying to catch this guy. I'm not saving anything at this point. This race has got a green flag look to it. I'm going to do everything in my power to catch up to this guy.
All right, riding on board with that 21. He just got a little loose coming off the corner. I almost wonder if he felt pretty comfortable with what he had before, so he jacked things up just a little bit, maybe the right rear, the wedge, whatever. 11 laps remaining. That Crossley, it seems like he might be getting just a little bit closer. I wonder if the 21 is actually, maybe he's dialed in. You've seen Days of Thunder just like I have. They say in the movie, loose is fast and on the edge of out of control. That's exactly the way that 21 has come off the corner the last couple laps. Maybe, man, we might be looking at a challenge before it's all said and done. Or, you know what, you put in all those practice laps earlier. Do you think the 21 is just too far back?
Well, something interesting that I noticed when I was putting in those laps, Pete, is the fall off at Darlington isn't as crazy as a lot of people would think. My lap times were about 3 to 4 tenths off of my fastest by the end of the run. So really, these trucks and these cars, they stabilize quite nicely if you can get the balance on those right side tires correct. If your balance is off and you are burning more right side than, more right rear than right front, then yeah, you're going to be sideways off the corner. It's going to be a handful to drive. But if you can get those right side tires burning at the equal rates, they stabilize quite nicely.
Well, something that we haven't actually seen a whole lot of either on Swatz's stream, on Cowboy's stream, or Chevy, or NNR Monster nowadays, is that right front wear. It's something I hadn't even thought about because none of them have actually shown me that side of their menu. So, yeah, even though these guys can go the final 29 laps on fuel, they can make it there with what they've got in the tank. Is that right front or that right rear problematic? Coming to those final few laps, are we going to see someone pop a tire and into that outside wall? Is it gonna be right about the time of a green-white checker, as we're watching a little bit of a battle here between the 26 of Yeti and the 24 of Krabby Soup? Krabby down low, Yeti up high. Looks like he's going to check up just enough. A little bit of a shot to the back bumper to the 24. Move the 24 up one more spot. Great little pass right there and a little slide job by Krabby.
This is the last thing that bowling wants to see, is these guys going at it side by side here at Darlington. He's saying, please, please, please keep it green. Because I've got a massive lead over Tenacious here. Pete, I'm with you. I think that gap is maybe narrowing just a little bit, but it's not narrowing nearly as quick as it needs to.
Yeah, we saw the 21 get really, really loose before, went down to where he had to actually pull back hard on the wheel in order to save it. Bowling wasn't very, very good on the long runs earlier where Tenacious was. Tenacious looks like his car might be tightening up as the race has gone on. Man, I don't know if he's going to have the speed to get there. If that car that he had to pass, multiple laps ago is the one that created the gap up to the 38, even though the 38 had a gap coming off pit road, it just seemed like he stabilized that gap. The 21 has made up a little ground, but I don't see it as being enough. And as we've got 4 laps to go here to call this one official, 38's coming up on a little bit of traffic. 21, he's guiding that truck along the dotted line on the bottom, letting it wash up a little bit, coming back to that line again on the bottom to exit the corner. It looks like this 21 is rotating very, very nicely.
Yeah, 21 looks like he's got this truck finally dialed in at the end of this long run. As we see, I believe that lap truck might have just given him the position to bowling without fighting him for it. If I'm bowling, I am not going to jump up there and race that other lap truck. I'm going to do my best to give him plenty of space because I have got plenty of gap over that 21. I need to continue to be patient. I need to continue to ride around here, maintain the gap, and do what I need to do to get, my 11th or 12th win of the season? Ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that's going to be the 98 of Papa Bear right in front of him. I don't think that's the 13 of Garrett. Now 3 laps remaining, and yeah, this Crossley Ford, we've seen it up in the wall a couple times, just kind of skating along, doing a great job. Cape out there saying 21 is really sucking it down to the track. Cape, I gotta agree with you. He is on the bottom, getting into the corner, letting the truck wash up just a little bit to be able to carry that momentum, where the 38, he is staying very, very close to the bottom. So, Griff, what that's kind of telling me is that's actually the 19 that just went down a lap. So that was the 19 right there was in P6, and that's actually your race. That goes to show just how fast these guys were able to click off 3 laps. Bowling is going to go ahead and be your winner here from the track. Too Tough to Tame. Obviously not for him or the 21 of Tenacious. TGM Beast P3. Mataranit or Yeti is going to be a P4. Classic Stu P5. Cowboy P6. And the first car 1 lap down. So the pace that they had going, only the top 5 finished on the lead lap.
Yeah, and that's not too surprising at the pace that these guys were setting all night. It seemed to be a 3-car battle most of the evening, in which it narrowed down to 2 cars, and then eventually that 1 car up front, the 38 of Bowling.
There you go. So again, Cowboy, then it's going to be Krabby Soup, Garrett, NNR Swats, Papa Bear, Monster, and then Spoiled Milk. We saw the issues or trials and tribulations that the 20 had. He ended up 17 laps down after parking on pit road. J-Pie out there is congratulating Beast, saying nice run. Bama, old Mama Vol, saying great race. Rock NASCAR, of course, congratulating Bowling. And man, phenomenal race. That one's in the record books now for the Truck Series. We're going to take a break. We're going to back out of this. Of course, we're going to take a moment to allow the guys to work their way into the booth. We'll be right back, guys. Keep it right here. All right, big thanks one more time for keeping it right here. Definitely appreciate everybody. I have not been able to talk all night, Griff. But looks like we got the 21 of TGM Beast, Commando Griff. Let's see what that 88 has to say.
Yeah, Beast, congrats first off on your top 3 there, building some momentum going into the playoffs. Pete and I were watching you all night, and we noticed towards the end of, I believe, Stage 2, the start of Stage 3, you were no longer in that P3 spot, but you dropped back into the P5 spot. What happened there?
Beast, you're on mute, bud. Beast, can you hear us? You're on mute if you can.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, there you go. Were you able to hear Commando Griff?
I don't know.
All right, Griff, try that one more
All right,
time.
I got you.
Okay.
All right, one more time here, Beast. Watching you in Stage 1 and 2, you were up there battling for that P1 spot, P2, P3, right up in the mix. And then at the start of Stage 3, we noticed that you had dropped outside the top 3 and restarted in 5th. What happened there on pit road?
I had gotten damage in a previous incident to end Stage 2 between myself, the 21, and the 38. That damage there was about 3 seconds of damage, and it cost me those 3 spots.
Well, it was a heck of a battle watching all 3 of you up there competing for that top spot. What did you need to go up there and run with those guys there at the end?
It was about track position, and started Stage 3. I didn't really have the greatest track position to start out, and lost a decent amount of time trying to work my way back through.
We loved looking at the throwback car. We know that was a throwback to your very first league race. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was it was a special car. Going back to the SRL days, Griff, you know that. Great guy, Donnie Knight, chain graboid, who runs that. That night, he'd actually picked a car for me because I didn't know what the hell to drive that night, and told me to get in the 5 and ran that race, finished P4, first ever league race. It was a great experience.
Beast, moving into the playoffs here. You're going into the playoffs with, I believe, close to 8 playoff points. Okay, what is it going to take for you to run down Bowling?
It's going to take Bowling's Xbox to take a crap. And he's got over a race lead on me going into the playoffs. It's going to take a miracle for me to come away with the championship.
Well, Beast, you're always fun to watch drive that truck out there. Any shout-outs for tonight?
Shout out to J-Paw Militia, first and foremost. Shout out to guys like Jim Coey, J-Paw in particular, Chain Graboid, to guys that put together these leagues that we all run in, and create friendships, bonds, and stuff. And shout out to you, Pete, once again for putting on a stream and a show for everyone to watch.
Definitely can't keep Commando Griff out of that. Man did a phenomenal job tonight. Absolutely. All right, so it looks like we're gonna go ahead and move on to old P number 2. This 21. I mean, you could say it's a throwback to the Wood Brothers on the Cup side, but it's just that Motorcraft 4 is just phenomenal. Of course, in the truck side, it's a Chevy, but Tenacious, man, you had one hell of a truck all race long. I want to say, I'll even go out on a limb here and say that you led the most laps. You got stage 1, the stage 1 max points under your belt, came in second to Bowling in stage 2, and second to Bowling in the overall race. You got a great run all night long. When you saw Bowling peel off one lap sooner than you did for that last set of tires, right when it needed to happen to be able to go the rest of the distance, and then when you were coming off pit road and he, kind of a little bit of a flash on by, did you think that you'd be able to catch him, or what do you think was the difference between your pit stops?
Yeah, that last pit stop, when I seen him peel off, I knew I messed up because that was the only way that I could get around him in that stage of the race. So, now he just beat me through and through, really fair. He had a better entry in pit road. I kind of struggled with it. I didn't really practice pit entry at all. But yeah, it was a good truck all race. I give it that. Yeah, keeping up with the Woods Brother paint scheme, man. That I won the past 2 previous races with that scheme, so why break something like that? It's been so good to me.
Absolutely.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. I wish my work would go by that model. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But of course they don't. Like they say, businesses are in business to make sense, not sense. Think about that. But it was definitely one hell of a phenomenal run by you, up inside the top 3 all race long. Again, one stage 1, coming in P2 in the overall race, won the previous 2 races, second place tonight. Next week we're heading to Phoenix to start the 6-race postseason. What are you feeling in that 21 as we start the playoffs?
It's gonna come down how to manage tire wear, just like this track. But this Phoenix race, there's gonna be a lot of 8-up tires at the end of the runs. So if it's anything like Xfinity and Cup, you got to watch that right rear and try to manage that. So I know I'm not in the playoffs, but I'm not going to be just another truck on the track. I'm going to go for wins
There you go.
No matter what. So I'm gonna push them, all of them. I'm gonna race clean, but I'm gonna push them, let them know I'm here to win.
There you go, man. Claim those trophies. Get those Xfinity and Cup guys to take a look at you if they haven't already. Depending on what happens with NNR in the next edition of the game, or if they've got to run another series or another season with Heat 5. From what I hear, they may not be coming out with the next game until like late 2022, early 2023. So if it's that far out, man, Heat 5 is going to be it for a little bit. Hopefully they do a little bit of maintenance on this edition. I'm not even going to hold my breath. But hopefully they do a little bit of maintenance on this, get it back up to par. It seems like the servers have been a little bit better. Really haven't noticed too many bumps here as of late, right around that 10 o'clock hour. Buddy, congratulations. Great, definitely a great run, great finish tonight. Any shout-outs for you?
Y'all guys in the booth, broadcasting the race, Jim Coy, J. Paul, Swats, all the admins of NNR putting on great races for us to go show out our skills. Shout out my friends in another league, HPR. I know they support me, Spoiled, and Boss, even Cornette. We're the guys that represent them in that league, so I'm sure I'm going to call all them out. Thanks for watching.
There you go. Commando Griff, this 38 Crossley Ford. I tell you what, man. This is what he's got 15 stage wins. And we won't even talk about those 11 overall wins that he's got on the season. Why don't you go ahead and see what he's got to say about tonight's race?
NNR Bowling. At the start of tonight's race, Pete asked me who my guy was to pick, and I told him I had to go the easy route. I had to pick NNR Bowling as the easy go-to guy. And, man, you sure enough got her done, pulled off the win. Walk us through those first two stages, and then tell me about that third stage.
The first two stages were more or less just getting to the third stage, seeing what I could do, what I couldn't do. I hit the wall a couple times. Darlington is a tough track. It's got some weird little patch on the track coming out of 2 where if you hit it, you can either A, spin out completely, or B, you can go straight into the wall. It's a guessing game. You have no idea what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. So I was just trying to figure out how to get runs on the guys in front of me. The three of us had pretty equal trucks. Myself, Tenacious, and Beast. We had pretty equal trucks throughout the entire race. Nobody could really hold a candle when it came to keeping up with us on the restarts or anything like that. So come down to the end of the race there, I pit one lap sooner than Tenacious and everybody else, and I actually thought I was going to be one of the last ones pitting. I figured they were going to all undercut me, and I was going to be in their shoes, trying to chase them back down. That didn't happen, and I got that 3.5 second lead, and I just kind of coasted from there. Was trying to take it as easy as I possibly could, without letting him gain too much time. Just trying to maintain the gap, and he did close it down a little bit there at the end, to about 2 seconds. But again, I was just trying to maintain and not really burn up my stuff because I didn't really need to. So overall, it was a really good race, fun race. On to Phoenix next week.
Bowling, as these Xfinity guys take the track tomorrow night, what advice can you give them regarding how to drive this circuit and how to take care of their equipment?
I don't know. It's actually been a while since I've been in an Xfinity car, so I don't remember, and I haven't raced one on the new game here, so I don't really know what the tire model is compared to the last game when I was in the Xfinity series. I guess just don't try to overdrive your abilities. Your car's going to tell you a lot. Don't go with too high of a slider, or else, especially in the Xfinity cars, or else you're really going to find that patch coming out of turn 2, and it should make for an interesting race on your guys' end.
As we head into the playoffs here, Bowling, I'm not even going to tally up how many playoff points you have at this point. It's well over 45, maybe closer to 50 by now. Are there any tracks that you are looking at in the playoffs where you are a little bit on the concerned side at performance-wise?
I mean, I guess I could say I'm pretty capable everywhere I go. Talladega is a crapshoot just because it's a super speedway, and I am not a fan of super speedways. I don't think I've ever won one on a heat game, so that one I'm really not too worried about. So I'll just kind of ride around and try to have as much fun as I can there. But I'm really looking forward to Phoenix, and I'm really looking forward to Richmond. So I got those two circled, and should be a lot of fun.
And we look forward to watching you here in the next 6 races in these playoffs. Any shout-outs for tonight?
I give a shout out to you guys in the booth. Definitely got to give a shout out to you, Commando Griff, for picking me and keeping an eye on me every race. I go back and I watch the replays, and I see you down there in the chat saying, "Watch out for that 38. Here he comes." So mad shout out to you for following me. That's pretty awesome. Again, shout out to Pete for being here broadcasting this every week. Shout out to all of these guys in the Truck Series who show up week in, week out, and make this fun.
All right, thank you so much, Bowling. Thank you for answering our questions, and we look forward to seeing what you can do next week at Phoenix.
Thank you.
Bowling, don't go anywhere too quick. I'm going to pull this mic a little close. All right, just a little bit closer. I want you to hear some numbers. NNR Bowling, truck number 38. I don't think people have heard me say that number enough this season. All right, race points, 249. Stage points, 317. 0 penalty points. Of all the drivers that have started just about every race or have been here since the beginning of the season, no other driver can say that. So a total of 566 points through these, 23 races now. You've got 20 starts. You missed a couple of races, vacation, whatever have you. Life and family first. I say that all the time. You got 4 poles throughout the regular season, 12 wins. Counting tonight, sir. You've got 18 top 5s counting tonight. Of course, we're going to rack one up to 20 top 10s counting tonight. Average finish, it's going to come down a little bit from this 2.9 that you've got. You've got, of course, we talked about those 2 missed races. Stage wins, 15, most among all. Next closest was Shadillac behind Shad. We're looking at single digits, unfortunately. Then we got 45 playoff points heading into next week when we head to Phoenix. And closest to you before the points reset after tonight was Shad. Then you're looking back to Beast in the triple digits. Some people have already said you've got both hands on that trophy and you're just going to be a walk-away Joe with it. All right. It has been a phenomenal regular season for you. Of course, you're going to walk away with the regular season NNR Truck Series Championship before the next 6 races. Commando Griff just mentioned the playoffs that we've got coming up. I mentioned Phoenix next week. Then we're going to go to the Glen. After the Glen, we got Talladega. You mentioned that's a crapshoot. I couldn't agree with you more, especially if we run the old J-Pod and chain graboid package at that track, and whether we run with setups or not. That'll be a little bit of a kicker. Then we go to Richmond, Pocono, and Charlotte Motor Speedway. Wrapping it up at NASCAR's home track. It's been one hell of a regular season for you, man. That's a lot of points, a lot of wins, a lot of stages, a whole lot of everything. Clearly, you've dominated the regular season. Congrats on your regular season championship, sir.
Oh, thanks, Pete. I appreciate it. And as far as the playoffs go, I'm looking to have fun. I'm looking to race, Tenacious. Obviously, he's going to be fast. He's been fast everywhere we go. Spoiled milk. He's no slouch either. He had a rough race tonight. But I expect him to be back up there battling Beast, Cowboy, all these guys. I mean, everybody has a chance to win. Krabby, I mean, everybody has a chance to win. It's just who can put together the right race strategy. That's what it's boiled down to, and we'll see who can do it in the next 6 weeks.
There you go. Swats, as the the NNR Truck Series admin. You've been putting these races together all season long. Coey picked you as kind of his right-hand man for this series. Any thoughts on what we've gone through as far as the regular season? Of course, bowling picking up the regular season championship. Any words or anything you want to say about what we've done and where we're looking?
First off, I probably should have docked bowling about 100 points to start the season to give everybody a chance. No, but in all seriousness, he was my pick to begin with before we even started the season to win the championship. There's nobody better that I thought coming into the season that I'd seen. Running with him last season in the Xfinity season, and then moving down to the trucks this season, I didn't think there'd be a whole lot of competition, but Shad was putting it to him, at least getting some points, keeping it close for the most part. Krabby and Beast are right there. Tenacious, unfortunately, wasn't going to make the playoffs, but he's definitely been in the competition for pretty much every win he's been on the track for. I think if he would have been in the playoffs, I think he's probably the closest one that I think could have taken it from bowling if we would have had maybe a little less point gap between the three of them. I just appreciate all the guys coming out week in, week out. I know there's a lot of new guys that started halfway through the season with 3/4 of the way season. But the guys who have started from the beginning of the season that came out for tryouts really put the effort in to make the actual league itself. It shows a lot for those guys as far as sticking it out the entire season, whether they're winning races or in the top 5 every week or the top 10 every week. Even guys who are traditionally running in the bottom 3 of the race and they're still showing up. So I appreciate all those guys. I wanted Krabby to come back and get in here because I wanted to congratulate all 3 of you with bowling finishing first. Congratulations on the championship and proving me right. Beast for finishing second. Krabby for finishing third. I guess we'll see what happens here in the playoffs. If some big things happen, who knows if one of the 2 of them can try to get up there and take this thing from bowling, but it's going to be tough for everybody. Pete, I want to thank you. Besides maybe Coey, you're probably the most important person in NNR because you're the one that broadcasts for us, puts it out there for us, gets people views and helps people with the broadcast and stuff like that. So big round of applause for you. For showing up every week to broadcast for us and put us out there like that. Also to your wife for letting me do that. I really appreciate everybody coming out and running, and big shout out to the top 3 for the championship.
There you go. So we're gonna do this 2 more times this week. Tomorrow night we got the NNR Xfinity Series right back here from Darlington. Hopefully those guys have the option to run at night. It'd be amazing to see all those throwbacks that Darlington is so well known for, and see what they're going to be able to do. But Tenacious Z, phenomenal run tonight. Bowling, great run. Beast, great run. But Commando Griff, man, thank you very much for coming up to step in for expert racing. I didn't even have to ask you. You sent me a message that, hey Pete, do you mind if I come on up? Who knew that you had a feeling I was gonna need somebody to come on up, and Bud, you did a great job. You got Vols' approval. You got the approval of a lot of guys out there in chat. Thank you one more time, sir.
Thanks, Pete. Hopefully I'll have the opportunity to call a few more of these playoff races with you, these truck guys, on Tuesday nights. But it's always fun learning from the best up here in the booth.
I don't know, man. You kind of put me in my place tonight. I don't know.
Oh, and hey, Pete.
Yes, sir.
One last thing. Not that I'm anywhere near the, I guess, Babe Ruth style or Babe Ruth skill level, but I'm going to call my shot for the second week of the playoffs.
Okay.
So if you haven't been practicing it, you better go out and practice it.
Ah.
Because Watkins Glen, I'm taking it.
There you go. Bowling, by the way, did you hear that?
I'm making sure he hears it because I'm coming for it. So
We'll
I hope
see.
he accepts the challenge and the at least somebody besides maybe Tenacious and Beast and Krabby up there battling him.
There you go. All right, guys, we'll be back tomorrow night. Big thanks one more time to everybody that came out, hung out, chatted up, kept us company. Definitely appreciate the bits, the subs, everything else. I know I didn't catch up with you a little bit ago. Jerson De Leon David, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to NNR. J-Pop for the bits. Vols for the 500. Rock for the 500. Man, I can't wait to do this all one more time tomorrow night. Big congrats one more time to NNR Bowling on his regular season championship. We will see you all tomorrow night. Have a great one. 8:30 Eastern. Be there. Be square.